Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'll be explaining you about components of concurrent forces, how to write the components of concurrent forces. So concurrent forces are those forces which meet at a point. So when you have two or more forces meeting at a single point, you call them as a concurrent forces. So we will try to write the components related to this, so from where we can find out the resultant, and that's why this is so called as a method of resolution. Why? Because we are resoluting the forces into their components in x direction and y direction respectively. So to watch the earlier video of this playlist where we have discussed about all the basic terminology and also the definitions what we encounter in engineering mechanics. So right now in the first diagram you can see there is a force F which is moving in an inclined direction. So F is the magnitude of this force, and this force is inclined with an angle of theta with the horizontal. Okay, so when you get forces like this, see, if it's a horizontal force, directly you add it, or if it's a vertical force you add it. But now it's an inclined force, inclined with an angle theta. So in such type of case, what we do is, for inclined forces we write the components, one in x direction and other in the y direction. That's why we call it as method of resolution. So we are resoluting the given force F into x and y. So now once you have a force F in inclined direction with an angle of theta with a horizontal, then the component of this force F in x direction will be denoted by Fx, which is equal to F cos theta. Okay, this is the formula you have to remember. So Fx, the component of the force F in horizontal direction or x direction, will be equal to F cos theta. Similarly, the component of force F in y direction, denoted by Fy, will be given by the formula F sin theta. Okay, so this is what is the basic point you have to remember. Fx is F cos theta, Fy is F sin theta. And I have another point to tell you here. This Fx equal to F cos theta and Fy equal to F sin theta is when theta is inclined with the horizontal with an the force F is inclined with the horizontal with an angle of theta. Say if this theta is here, means if this theta, what you can see in the figure, is inclined like this, right? If this is inclined like this, means with the y direction, then these things will reverse. Means what I mean to tell you is, to remember easily, always remember the component of force which is adjacent to theta. So you can see Fx is adjacent to theta, right? So the component of force adjacent to theta will be a cos component. As simple as that. I repeat, the component of force which is adjacent to the angle theta, or closer rather, it will be a cos component. So obviously the other will be sine. Okay, so when this theta would be here, obviously Fy would become F cos theta. Similarly, Fx will become F sin theta, like that. Okay, now when you have group of forces, so just now what I've shown you is a force F which is passing through a single point. But when you have concurrent forces, so concurrent forces means what I told you, when number of forces meet at a single point or pass through a single point, you call them as concurrent forces. Now what in the case of concurrent forces? Very simple. Now observe this diagram. There is F1, there is F2, there is F3, and there is F4. All these four forces are moving through this single point. Let's assume that that's an origin point, let's say. So I have drawn the coordinate axis, so x and y. So when you have group of forces like this, how do you calculate the resultant? So for this, what you have to do is, the first step when you find such type of group of forces is that you need to calculate the individual components of individual forces. In the sense, you have F1, right? So for F1, calculate its x component as well as its y component. Similarly, for F2, calculates its x component, y component. F3, calculate F3 x component, F3 y component. Similarly, for F4, calculate F4 x component, F4 y component. How to calculate? Just now I have shown you F cos theta and F sin theta. By putting this formula, you can calculate. So that's why the first step would be calculation of F1x, F2x, F3x, F4x. Means the x components of all the four forces, and F1y, F2y, F3y, and F4y. Okay, then once you get these components, then you put sigma Fx, means summation of all horizontal forces. So sigma Fx equal to sigma Fx, means summation of all x component forces. So F1x plus F2x plus F3x plus F4x. Some people already sometimes denote this by sigma x, that's also fine. Similarly, sigma fy, f1y plus f2y plus f3y plus f4y, which is sigma y. Therefore, resultant r is given by the formula under root of sigma fx whole square plus sigma fy whole square. And resultant r will give you the magnitude of the resultant force, but force will always have direction also, right? So for that, take tan alpha. So tan alpha will be sigma fy by sigma fx. So from there, alpha will be tan inverse of sigma fy by fx, means the horizontal by vertical, vertical by horizontal, I'm sorry. Because say let's suppose that this is the inclination, then tan alpha, or alpha means what, something related to slope. So tan, here if you say there is some alpha here, so let's imagine there is a triangle here. So tan alpha will be opposite by adjacent, right? So like that. So this vertical height stands for sigma fy, horizontal sigma fx. So hence alpha is tan inverse of sigma fy by fx. So from there you'll get the value of alpha. Okay, so this is how you need to calculate. So one more thing I'll tell you here. I told you calculate f1x, means you need to calculate x components of all the four forces, y components of all the four forces, and add them individually. But before that, you have to be very careful with the sign convention. Say suppose now our f1 is in the first quadrant. So for this, in the first quadrant we know that x is positive, y is positive. So for this force f1, both the components would be positive. Similarly, when you come back to f2, f2 is in quadrant number 2. Here x is negative, y is positive. So fx would be negative, fy would be positive. Coming to f3, both here x and y are negative in this quadrant. So at this time, both the components would be negative. When you come for f4, x is positive, y is negative. So here x component of f4 would be positive, y component would be negative. So like this, we have to consider the sign convention also, irrespective of cos and sine. So for this, I will take a problem as an example and I will be explaining you. So do subscribe and wait for the next video. So hope you understood. Thanks for watching.